Welcome to my channel. Welcome back to all my tens and tens of viewers. One day it'll be hundreds, thousands, and of course that number will keep growing. But for now, I'm here because you want to hear from me. You need to hear from me, or better yet, you're going to hear from me. You want to hear from me, right? I am going to talk to you today about early literacy again, okay? I don't know how many times we'll have this conversation or these conversations, but at some point I know this information will stick, okay? So, what is early literacy? According to the Indiana Department of Education, early literacy is defined as everything a child knows about reading and writing before they actually start or begin to read and write. Um, Literacy development begins at birth and is closely linked to a child's early experiences with books and stories. What can parents, guardians, teachers, and loved ones do to help children get ready for kindergarten using early literacy? Set goals. It's important to set goals in not just your life, but your child's life too. It's never too late to start early. I actually have a child. She is 2. She'll be 3 in November, and she is reading. Not like them other parents say their kids are reading, but no, she's reading. Like, so proud of her.
Did you just congratulate me for reading? Word. Oh, yeah, man. It's good. Word, you know what I mean? That reading shit, you know what I mean? It's hard, son. Word, you know what I mean? Word, you know what I mean? Especially when them books be, you know what I mean? Real thick and heavy, like, you know what I mean? Word, you know what I mean?
I asked her mom, how did she learn to read, and she said just sounding out. She just constantly read with her. So there's no magic genie or genie in a bottle or anything like that to teach your to help teach your children how to read. It's start with setting a goal. The goals should be something like helping children create awareness and an understanding of concepts of print, helping children to develop awareness of alphabet. Then you may move on to phonological awareness in writing. To prepare my students for kindergarten, early literacy is what my parents think of, what my kindergarten parents think I'm doing is probably, I don't know, but I hope it shows through Brightwheel. I actually take a great deal of time to send everything that we're doing in class to my parents through Brightwheel. It's not done in real time, as luckily it's done, okay? Because it's not easy, but I just make it look that way. The question is not what do parents think the teachers are doing with the children, it's more so how do parents think their children behave? As we can't get to the schoolwork if I have to work on the child. Make sense? I thought I had angels personally. You couldn't tell me nothing about my little ones, especially at preschool age, okay? Because they're cute little people, right? And at home, they don't play with mom and dad the way that they will try a teacher or something. Kids are so interesting. So I thought I had angels until one day in elementary school, I got a phone call that my child was misbehaving in school, and I'm like, not me, girl. I don't think so. So I goes up to the school, and yes, goes. So I goes up to the school, and I'm trying to get to the bottom of a situation that my child was a part of. Apparently, there was milk spilt, and the teacher told her to clean it up. And she said, "It's not my milk, or I'm not doing it," or something like that. So she comes home and tells me about this situation. So I said, "Okay, I'm gonna go up there because my child ain't nobody's maid. What is she?" Long story short, she actually was responsible for the milk being on the floor and just didn't want to clean it. So I'm like, oh my God, how embarrassing. You could have at any point of time told me, okay, mama, what really happened was. And I was like, okay, well, this is how we deal with that. Um, but having me go up to the school to let this teacher know what I thought. Todd, come on now, you got me out here looking bad. So I know how it is to think that we have perfect little angels because I mean at home we do, but at school there may be a different story. So make sure you're communicating with the teacher to see and for sure trust and believe in what your child is saying, but also take into account that your child may not be telling you everything. So what parents think teachers do in school, well, I really don't know. Hopefully, my bright will supports that. But I remember my husband told me all I did was play with kids. Huh? Sir, are you okay? Because playing with kids is a dream. I wish it was just that easy. But yeah, that's so not the case. So I invited him to work with me for a day, and he got to see what it was that I actually did, and then put a little bit more respect on my job because it's not just playing with kids all day or stopping kids from eating Play-Doh and glue. It's a little deeper than that. So yeah, what I do, I just make it look easy and fun. It ain't for the weak of heart or faint of heart. So I know we all remember that photo, especially teachers that say, "What what what my friends think I'm doing, what my parents think I'm doing, or what I actually do, and so on and so forth." So this video is pretty much based on that. So, but when it comes to early literacy, what people may think happens in school or preschool or my school, and what actually happens in my school. So what my mom thinks that I do, I think she thinks that I maybe play ukulele and she understands that I'm coaching kids because if she calls me, she gets to hear interactions, and it always makes her chuckle a bit because I'm so real with these kids. With my kids, we're not going to do a whole. I'm not Mary Poppins by any stretch. I remember having a kid where I had to use like this. Okay, let's like because anything else, if I talk to that child regularly, they would cry. I'm like, okay. But if I sang whatever it was or went high pitch on them, then we were cool. Um, I think my mom believes that I do everything that I say I do, but on a much bigger scale. Like if I tell her we're learning to plant in my class, I think she think we just planted a garden and we're going to solve world hunger. Like, yeah, shout out to mom for always believing in me, like big deal, big time type stuff. What I actually do, man, kids be kidding. I mean, like kidding. Like, are you for real? Um, Actually, I have one child. He cries about everything. So right now I'm working on getting him to talk instead of cry. And it's a process and yeah, we're working through it. I have another child who screams about everything. Her tower's knocked over. I mean, girl, you can't be screaming at these kids like that. They don't respect that. They're just gonna knock it over again because they can't believe you just behaved that way. Um, what I actually do, a lot of potty changing and diaper changing, teaching kids how to be socially acceptable. What I'm actually doing all throughout the day is potty training, diapering, diaper changing, feeding, nursing bruises and fillings, um, conducting free play, cleaning, helping children work through transitions, free play, and one-on-one. One-on-one is when a lot of literacy activities happen. Um, what you can do to help your child through uh, get ready for kindergarten through early literacy is be intentional. Read to your child daily. Tell stories and use props. Ask children to retell stories. Ask questions. Keep writing tools and paper available. Believe it or not, I think we all go through a fear where we're like, oh my God, kid, please don't write on my walls. Like, I don't want that. No, I don't want that for me. No, no way. But if you teach children to write on paper, they'll actually write on paper, even babies, even the little ones, the 1, 2 year olds who know how to work a crayon or pencil.
If you teach them to write on paper, they'll actually write on paper. I have had to have those discussions with some children who like to write on a wall or table, and it was a quick fix. Um, as long as, like I said, make it make sense. You can't write on that, but you can write on this good, clean white paper. Early literacy is practiced mostly in English language standards, approaching approaches to play and learning standards. In English learning standards is we talk, use vocabulary, tone, expression, phonological awareness, which is recognizing letters and words, understanding the concept of print and comprehension, writing, communication, and please believe, do not set limits, no limitations. If you tell a child what they can't do, they'll show you. My baby, my middle child, when she was in preschool, the teacher walked up to us one day and was like, "Can she talk?" And I was like, "What?" And I had to think to myself, "Oh, they must have said she can't, she's not talking, or she can't talk." So she was like, "Okay, I guess I can't talk then." And the little girl didn't talk about 3 days. Kids are funny. And approaches to play and learning standards. Remember, we talked about behavior, teaching a child literacy. To think that you could teach a child literacy when you should be working on their behavior is crazy work. There's proper order to everything, even in kindergarten, preschool. So, in order to learn literacy, you should start with approaches to learning, to play and learning. Initiatives and self directions. Is your child ready to work and play? A lot of times when we get ready to do one on one work or group work, we always say, set that timer. Maybe not even physically, but verbally. Guys, in 5 minutes, it's time for circle. Guys, in 4 minutes, it's time for circle. Excuse me, whatever the child name is. You have one of you're going to come and do your work in a minute. And I've never had pushback from children on doing their work. If you do have pushback on one-on-one or getting a child to go to circle time, throw a good yay in there, In 10 minutes, we're going to do our work. Yay! And it works. Um, well, that's what we called in my day the good rig. Got it. I do not solve all the problems in our class. I will let children figure it out for themselves while coaching them through problems that they're having. Oh, it looks like you want to play with them. Did you ask them? Maybe if you ask, don't just go take the toys or, you know, things of that nature. Do they have sustained attention and are they showing persistence? Watching children develop is a reward for teachers, I swear. How are their social interactions? I might not have time all the time in the classroom to tell parents about how their children are behaving socially, what every social interaction looks like, because remember, I work 5 to 6 p.m., 5 a.m. to 6 p.m., so 13-hour days. At the end of that day, I am not prone to give a recap of every child's every movement, it's impossible. But since I have a little time right now, I will have story time. If, again, as I said once before, if you think you're going to get children to complete work without having proper social skills, mm-mm. So you have to show children what's socially acceptable. Of course, we're all excited about our child beginning to learn how to read and write, but your child has over 13 more years to go where they'll get to practice that. So in preschool, don't focus so much on reading and writing as much as you should focus on social skills. Um, and with social skills, notice I did not mention sight words. Sight word, again, for a preschooler is crazy word. Please don't do it. I read a post, and I'm going to, well, not a post because I'm not on nobody's social medias, but I'm getting there. I read a quote that said something along the lines, if you teach a child to read 10 words, you taught a kid to read 10 words. But if you teach a child to sound out 10 letters, you taught a child to read, what's that like? thousands of words. And if they learn 10 letters, yeah, basically, which I'll add the quote, of course. Teaching kids letters and letter blend sounds is way more of a big deal than teaching kids how to read the word the. They'll get it because, like I explained, it shapes for them. But if you teach them how to sound out letters, it's more than just remembering the shape of those letters when they're put together. It's actually reading and sounding out the words. So slow down, little gym shoes out there trying to sight word your kids, getting or sight word your kids to good graces. Understand that you don't want to frustrate them when learning how to read. It should be a happy and a fun process. And if you're stressing your kid out because you're trying to force sight words upon them, stop and teach them their alphabet, please, and letter sounds, and then go from there. Yes, it's 32 letters and you want them to read tomorrow, but no, don't do it. Throw the whole sight word idea away until they're older, please. I hope you enjoy my video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and sharing is caring, right? And drop a comment down below and let us know what you do to help your child with early literacy. Bye for now.